This lesson is about the area of two-dimensional shapes. Now, two-dimensional shapes that we are going to see is a rectangle. So we'll look at finding the area of a rectangle. We will also look at the area of finding a circle and look at finding the area of a triangle, a trapezoid, and finally a parallelogram. So basically, to find all of these formulas, or all of the areas, we are going to follow formulas. And the formulas are always going to be given. I will show you the formula sheet at the end of the lesson. The first example that we're going to do is the area of a rectangle. So what we see here is the formula of the area of a rectangle. Basically, all you got to do is the length times the width. So when you look at your rectangle, you identify the side that's your length and the side that's your width. We just need to fill in the formula with the information that we have. Instead of the L, we're going to put the length, which is 9 centimeters. And instead of the W, we're going to put the length of the width, which is 4. So then basically after that, you can just take your calculator, or if you know what 9 times 4 is, that's great. But 9 times 4 is equal to 36. So your area is 36 centimeters squared, just like that. The unit of measure is squared because it's the area. Next shape is our circle. So the formula for the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. Now, just to review, if I have a circle and I draw a line that goes through the center of my circle, that is called the diameter. Now, for the area of a circle, we don't work with the diameter, we work with the radius. And the radius is just half of the length of the diameter. So that's your radius. Now, in this example, the radius is given, it's 2.5 centimeters. We will take our formula and fill it in with the information that is given. Now, pi is a constant. Pi is a number that is equal to 3.14. Now, on your calculator, every calculator is different. So you have to find where pi is located. On this calculator, it's right here above the EXP. So in order for me to find pi, I have to go shift and then the EXP, and then it shows that that's pi. Now, if you don't have a pi button on your button or on your calculator, you could just use 3.14 and it would give you the same thing. Now, our radius is 2.5. I have written pi times 2.5 squared. Now remember, 2.5 squared is not the same as 2.5 times 2. It's actually 2.5 times itself, 2.5 times 2.5. To plug this into our calculator, we would go find our pi times 2.5 times 2.5 equals, now this would be equal 19.6. We round to one decimal place, and because the 3 is smaller than a 5, we leave this as a 6. So we could write it as 19.6 centimeters squared. And that is the area of my circle. Now for a triangle, it's a different formula. The formula is 1/2 times the base times the height. When we look at a triangle, you need to be able to identify what is the base, what is the height. So the base is your bottom, the bottom of your triangle, and the height is, it's a line that is perpendicular to your base, which means that it forms a 90-degree angle. Therefore, the height is 5.5 and the base is 18. So let's put that into the formula. We have 1/2 times our base, which is 18, times our height, which is 5.5. Now, to calculate this on our calculator, you could do it in a few different ways. So we could go, let's just multiply everything on the top. So 1 times 18 times 5.5. And then all of that is divided by 2, because when you have a 2 at the bottom, that means divide by 2, gives us 49.5. Or if that mixes you up, we could change our fraction, like a half is equal to 0.5. So we'll go 0.5 times 18 times 5.5, and it would give you the same thing, which is 49.5. Our area is 49.5 centimeters squared. All right, so those are done. Now let's get on to a trapezoid. There's the formula of my trapezoid. Now this means it's a half times B1 would represent one of the bases. So we could say that B1 is equal to 11.3 plus B2, and we could say that B2 will be the other base, and then times our height. Now our height here is 4.9, so that's our height. Let's put that in the formula. So we have a half times 11.3, because that's base 1, plus 6.7, which is our base 2, times 4.9. Now, when we put this into the calculator, you could put in exactly what you see, but remember that a half can be converted to a decimal as 0.5, and sometimes that's easier on the calculator. So instead of a half, I'm going to go 0.5 times, or I'm going to open my bracket. I'm going to basically put exactly what I see in the equation that I wrote. So make sure we plug in all the same brackets, and then it gives us 44.1. That means that our area is 44.1 meters squared. Make sure you identify the proper unit of measure. Here it's in meters, so we're going to write meters squared. And the last shape is a parallelogram. This formula is simple. It's just base times the height. It's pretty much the same thing as a rectangle. Rectangle was length times the width. Here it's base times the height. 1.2 in this parallelogram is my base, and 0.8 is my height. We could put those two measurements into our formulas, our base, 1.2, and multiply it by our height, 0.8. Take our calculator. 1.2 times 0.8 is equal to 0.96. So 0.96 meters squared is the area of your parallelogram. Now, I just want to show you that this is a formula sheet, which in class, your teacher will probably give it to you. If not, it will also be posted on the Google Classroom. Now, these are not formulas that you need to memorize. So basically, it gives us the area of a circle, the area of a triangle, the area of a rectangle. As for the trapezoid and the parallelogram, your teacher will more than likely give you those. So that's basically it. That's all there is to finding the area of two-dimensional shapes. Now you can go ahead and do your practice.